Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. What a blessing it is to be here today. I am so thankful to be able to come to you this morning and do a little crafting prior to getting our day started and prior to getting out to go to work today. I am just so blessed and grateful that I have you as supporters, as viewers, as customers. I thank each and every one from the bottom of my heart. And I am so blessed that God allows me to share this time with you this morning. All right, I'm going to get my desktop or laptop pulled up so I can see any comments that might come through as I am live this morning, bright and early. It is 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I am so grateful to be here. I am thankful that you take the time to share paper crafting and paper hugs with others, because we never know when that card or that project is going to put a smile on someone's face. And we just never know when someone needs that. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for sharing our paper crafting industry with others. All right, looks like I'm in the right place. I am live. Good morning, Mom. All right, so we're going to just jump right in because, as usual, I am running behind schedule, but that's okay. I have one project ready for us this morning, so we're going to work on that. We are using the Exciting Times bundle and the Peaceful Pine paper, and we are going to be using the Bloom Bouquet designer series paper. So I'm going to move everything off of my desk so we can get started this morning. Make sure you join my email list so you don't miss out on upcoming classes, events, all of that good stuff going on, as well as we are working on our July schedule, and we've got Christmas in July coming up. Yes, it is that time of the year to start thinking Christmas and getting those projects started. And I hope that you come along and join me for those adventures. We will also have a mixture of other classes in there. I selected the projects yesterday. I know one of the bundles that we will be using in July is the Balloon Festo. We will also be using the Water Slide Retreat bundle. We're going to do some stuff with that. And then I do have two Christmas projects that we will be doing as well for July. So make sure you click on the links, join, don't miss out. Grab your coffee, grab your hot tea, whatever it is that you like drinking first thing in the morning, and let's flip our camera and start crafting. Hello, everyone. For those that don't know me, I am Jennifernuovo. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I am here this morning to share a little coffee and card time with you. Alrighty, and I am thankful you are here. All right, let's flip our camera and get started. Here is the stamp set. Let me make sure everything is good to go. And hopefully you don't see all my mess on my desk because, whew, I don't know about y'all, but my craft room just never stays clean, no matter what I do. But I will tell you, I can tell you when somebody's been in my cluttery craft room, because yesterday I was in my room and I thought some things were moved and I couldn't quite pin it down. Found out last night that my granddaughter, who stayed with me on Monday night, came into my craft studio and took some of my diamond art and worked on that. So I knew there was something. So even though my room is a little on the wild side, I can still tell when somebody's up here that should not have been up here. But she helped herself to some diamond art. So as long as she does it and gives it to me, that's a good thing, right? because that's a project completed. All right, so let's get to our project this morning. We've got the Exciting Times bundle, and it actually comes with a punch and the die, and not the punch and the stamp set, not a dies, excuse me. So we've got the punch and the stamp set this morning. We are going to be using that along with, let me show you this beautiful designer paper. This is called Bloom's Bouquet. And it is all of our new in colors. So, and then I don't have a full sheet, but this is one of the other pieces that go along with it, but we are actually using this paper today. But on the back side is this, and it's got gold foil in it. It is so pretty. So these are the bigger pieces, and then when you flip it over, you have that as your backing. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So that is the designer paper that we're using today. All right, so here's the project that we're going to be making. I have used the Peaceful Pine card base along with the basic white cardstock, and I used the Forever Plaid embossing folder behind it. And then I used the designer series paper, and I did a layer stack there. And I did heat embossing here, and it says "Let's Celebrate." And then on the inside, "Happy Birthday to You." So that is the project that we are going to be making today. All right, so here we go. We have our card base, which is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to take that and go ahead and fold it. We're going to take our bone folder and run across here, giving it that good seal across there. And then we are going to take our embossed plaid folder here, piece, and we're going to take our adhesive, and we're going to gently put it on here. I am using the Stampin' Seal. So that is my adhesive, but you can also use liquid glue, you can use tearing tape, or whatever type of adhesive you choose to use. All right, so we're going to do that. Then we have a piece of the designer series paper, and this is 5 1/4 by 1 and is it 1 1/2? What did I do? I did it at 1 3/4. All right, so this is 5 1/4 by 1 and oh boy, it's gonna be a day, ain't it? So it is 5 1/4 by 1 3/4. All right, there we go. It is gonna be a day, right, guys? All right. I am almost to the point where I need a vacation from vacation. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to kind of just center it on here. All right, perfect. Then we have a piece of Peaceful Pine that is 4 inches by 2 3/4. We have a piece of designer series paper that is going to be 3 3/4 by 2 1/2. All right, so we're going to take our adhesive and put on the back of this. All right, and then we're going to have the edge going all the way around that. All right, when you have that done, all you have to do then is take your adhesive, put it on the back side. We're going to put it in a couple of spots there. We're going to take this and we're going to put that directly in the center of our card base, or close to center as possible. Okay, so we're going to do that. Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Beach is calling. That is so true. I definitely would figure out how to squeeze that in with this crazy schedule of ours. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our Designer Series paper. We're going to take our Peaceful Pine ink pad, and we are going to stamp our large, I'm going to call it a picture frame, but it's the large frame that's right here. We're going to take this and tap it into the Peaceful Pine and get it all good and inked up here. All right. And then we're going to take this and we're going to stamp this directly on the designer paper. Okay. Now we're going to, so you can see how that showed up right in here. It's very light, and that's okay. But it did show up, and we're going to set that to the side, and we're going to go ahead, while we have our ink pad open, we're going to take our stamp set that says, Happy Birthday to You, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to stick it in the Peaceful Pine, and then we're going to stamp that right in the center. And I'm going to hold that just a second so the ink can fade into our paper and get us a good, crisp stamp image. Perfect. Now we're going to close this up so we don't get Peaceful Pine everywhere. All right. Now we're going to take this and our snips, and we are going to gently run this around our cut image, and we're going to cut this out. And even though this is fussy cutting, it is not a bad cut because it's so straightforward. And it's not a lot of ins and outs. Okay, let's see. There we go. So we got that ready. We're going to set that to the side. Now it is time that we pull out our embossing. This one I decided to do a little bit of embossing on it because it just makes it pop that much more. So I'm going to take my buddy and run across the bottom of the cardstock here. When you do this, it takes all the static out of the cardstock. So therefore, don't touch that with your hands because you're going to put it right back into static mode. We're going to take our stamp, which comes from the Exciting Times, and it's the smaller stamp right here. We're going to take it and we're going to tap it into our Versamark. Make sure your stamp is well inked there. And when I go to stamp it down, you're not going to be able to see this because it is clear, but I promise you it is there. All right, so if I lift this up, you can see the outskirt of it. Even though it doesn't have color, you can still see it. Now I'm going to take the stamp that says Let's Celebrate, And that's going to go right in the center. All right, we're going to put our lid on our Versamark because we're done with that. We've got our Wow embossing powder from Stampin' Up. This is basic white, bright white. And we're going to put our tray down. Excuse me. We're going to sprinkle this all over it. And then we're going to tap it off. And then I like to go back over it. And that way, to make sure I have everything covered really well. And then we're going to tap it off. All right, so now, before we get started, the reason I use the tray is because we have this little screw thing down here that you can take off. And you can pour your powder back into your container because it is reusable. Some people use coffee filters, regular computer paper. Anything that you can fold to pour it back in the container is manageable to use. But I do use the tray. Let me put the lid back on here so I don't pour that everywhere like I've done in the past. I think that's everything. Now I'm going to cut my heat tool on, and it's going to sound like a little hair dryer. But I'm going to do this real quick. While I do this, go ahead and get your coffee and your tea and take a good sip. Also, if you're not on my email list, you can take the time to go and do that. Join that email list so you don't miss out on upcoming classes, events. And one thing that I did last night is I did send out my registration for my in-person card class for the month of July because I had to move it up by 1 week in July. So it is not my normal in-person class date, but the second Monday in July, we have Vacation Bible School going on at church, so I needed to bump my schedule around so I would be available for the Vacation Bible School at church. So make sure you get registered for that because that is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do 4 projects. All right, we're going to take our punch now, and we are going to slide this right up under here. And line it up. And we're going to punch this out. And there is our label. Isn't that so pretty? All right, so now we're ready to assemble our cards. We've got our pieces done. We've got our stamping done. We're going to take the inside piece here, and this is going to go directly on the inside. This is going to go right in here. All right, just like that. Then we are going to take this and attach it to that. We're going to just go ahead and put our adhesive on the back of here. That is going to go in the center of this. All right. Now we're going to take our dimensionals. And we're going to do a little pop in here. Just because it is flowers, I don't want it to be taken away. So we're going to give it a little dimension here to make it stand out. And that's one of the reasons I did the heat emboss instead of just stamping, because that will draw the attention besides just all the flowers. Okay, so this is another way you can do it to make it work. All right, so there is that. Now it is time to take our Peaceful Pine ribbon, and this one is full length ribbon, but let me show you something here. If you, and I've done this before, and I really, really love doing this. So if you don't want the full width of this ribbon, you can take your snips and cut this in half. And I'm really not going to be able to talk and cut because I need to make sure I somewhat stay in the center here. So let me concentrate, because you know it is early morning here. All right. Also, if you do not follow my YouTube channel, my Facebook page, or my Instagram page, make sure you go out there, subscribe to all those, as I have been posting tips, projects, suggestions, all of those types of things, videos, short videos, so you get extra ideas of stuff going on and how to use certain product. Make sure you go out there and subscribe, because that does help my business, and I do greatly appreciate every bit of the support I get. I am very grateful for that. All right, come on. Also, another thing that I am doing, all right, so see, now we've got a smaller version of the ribbon. Also, another thing that I am doing is I am looking at the new year coming up. Starting in October, that is a new Stampin' Up year. So if there's some type of class you would like to see, Facebook Lives, YouTube Lives, whatever it is that you would like to see more of, if you can let me know by sending me an email, text message, sending me a private message on social media, any of those types of things, that would greatly help me develop my new schedule as we try to better. I would love to serve my customers and viewers better than I do. So if there's something that you would like to see that you're not seeing, drop me a link, drop me a comment, so I can get it in the schedule for the new year. Because it is time to start looking at changes and ads and takeaways. And yes, there are some things I'm looking at taking away that I currently do. So if you don't want to see anything disappear, let me know what it is that you do like and don't like. What would you like to see more of? And we will do our best to get it in the new schedule, or take it out of the current schedule and add something else maybe. But I am looking at the new Stampin' Up year, because I am setting goals and got some big goals coming up that I am in hopes to achieve. So let's see if we can get it done. All right, so now I am taking the glue dots, and I'm rolling it and putting it on the back of the bow. And now this is ready to go directly on the card. Awesome. All right. So you can cut the tails to make it shorter if you choose to, or you can leave it as is. But there is our project for today. So you've got the full bow. This is the difference. This is the full ribbon here. And this is if you cut it in half and make the smaller bow. So which way do you like it better? The full or the small? You're choosing. But there is our project for today. I hope you enjoyed this product. And if there is anything that I can help you do, please let me know. That is all for today. One project. I do have, I will be live on Sunday. I believe that's June 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I have no idea what we're working on, but I promise you it won't disappoint. So come join me on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In the meantime, happy crafting, happy Wednesday, and I hope you have a blessed rest of your week. Enjoy your day. Thank you. Oh, yes, Mom, I do like the smaller bow also. So that is one of the things that you can do is cut it to make that smaller bow. All right, guys, thank you so much, and I will see you soon.